me tell you something right here, right now. Too many people walking this earth spend their days and nights carrying a weight they were never meant to carry. The weight of opinions, the weight of somebody else's judgment, the weight of whispers behind their backs, of raised eyebrows in crowded rooms, of silent disapproval that hangs in the air like smoke. And I'm here to tell you that weight, you can put it down, because your value, your worth, your very existence, it is not measured by the opinions of other people. See, the world will try to hand you labels the moment you open your eyes. From the time you're a little girl, people will tell you what you should be, how you should act, what you should wear, how loud or quiet you should speak, how much space you're allowed to take up. They'll put you in boxes, too ambitious, too shy, too loud, too soft, too strong, too weak, and before you know it, you're living your life like you're auditioning for approval. Like your soul's on trial every day, but let me ask you, who gave them the authority, who gave them the power to decide what you're worth? Whose voices are you letting echo in your head, dictating how you feel about yourself? Let me be clear. The people who criticize you, who look you up and down, who whisper behind your back they don't know the battles you fought. They don't know the nights you stayed up crying and still got up in the morning to take care of business. They don't know how many times you kept going when quitting would have been easier. They don't know the dreams that live in your chest, pounding like a drum, refusing to be silenced. People talk, that's what they do. Some talk because they're insecure. Some talk because they see your strength and it reminds them of what they're not doing. Some talk because misery loves company, and your light makes their shadows feel too visible. And sometimes people talk because they simply don't understand you. And what people don't understand, they often try to diminish. But you have to know your worth outside of their words, because there's a price tag on diamonds for a reason. They're rare. They're valuable, and just because someone can't afford them doesn't mean the diamond is any less precious. Your value doesn't drop because someone else can't see it. Their inability to recognize your shine is not a reflection of your brilliance. It's a reflection of their limited vision. I want you to think about all the moments in your life when you felt small because of somebody else's opinion. The time someone rolled their eyes when you spoke your truth. The time someone tried to shame you for dreaming bigger, for wanting more, for loving yourself enough to demand respect. I want you to revisit those moments, but this time see them differently. Those moments were not proof that you were too much. They were proof that your power was too big for the space you were in. And I'm going to tell you something that might sting a little. Some people will never applaud your victories, no matter how hard you worked for them. Some people will never give you the validation you crave, and that's okay. You don't need it. You don't need applause to be great. You don't need permission to be who you are. You don't need consensus to shine. The real freedom comes when you stand in the mirror and say, I am enough, I am worthy, I am valuable simply because I am me. When you know this deep down, their opinions become background noise. Like static on the radio, you hear it, but it doesn't define the song. People will try to mold you into what makes them comfortable. They'll try to quiet your voice, clip your wings, dim your glow, because a woman who knows her worth. She's unstoppable, she's dangerous in the best way, she disrupts systems, she speaks truth, she breaks generational curses, she builds legacies. And the world isn't always ready for that kind of woman, but guess what? That's not your problem. Your value is intrinsic. It was born with you, woven into every fiber of your being. No job title, no relationship status, no social media likes, no trophies or awards can add to it, or take away from it. You were valuable the day you took your first breath, and you'll be valuable on your last, so let them talk. Let them misunderstand you, let them underestimate you, because their opinions are just that, opinions. But your worth is fact, unshakable, unchanging, unbreakable. Listen to me close. Failure is one of the most misunderstood words we've got in our language. People hear that word and they freeze, they shrink back, they let shame crawl up their spine like cold water. Because somewhere along the way we were taught that failing means we're finished, that it defines who we are. That it stamps a permanent mark on our story like a sentence from a judge's gavel. But let me tell you something, failure is not a life sentence. Failure is a lesson, a teacher, one of the greatest teachers you will ever have, and the sooner you understand that, the freer you're gonna feel. See, when you fail, it doesn't mean you're worthless, it doesn't mean you're incapable, it doesn't mean you're not good enough or that your dreams were foolish. It just means you tried, you stepped up, you put skin in the game while other people sat on the sidelines, pointing fingers. And I'd rather fall flat on my face 1,000 times than spend my life wrapped in bubble wrap, afraid to move because I might stumble. I know you failed, we all have. Maybe it was a relationship you gave your whole heart to that fell apart anyway. Maybe it was a job you wanted so bad you could taste it, and they picked somebody else. Maybe it was a business that started with so much fire, but the money ran out before the dream could take off. Maybe it's failing yourself, letting yourself down in quiet ways nobody else even knows about, missing goals, breaking promises to yourself, feeling like you keep coming up short and it hurts. God, it hurts. Let's not pretend it doesn't. That sting of disappointment is real. It cuts deep, but hear me, it's temporary, that pain you feel after failing. It's a sign that you care. It's proof that your soul is still reaching for something better, and as long as you're reaching, you are not defeated. The problem is, we live in a world obsessed with perfection. Social media feeds us highlight reels and success stories and glossy snapshots of people living their best life. But you know what's behind those photos: struggle, doubt, days when they wanted to quit, nights they cried on the bathroom floor. Nobody's showing you that part, but it's there. And the people you look up to most, the legends, the trailblazers, the history makers, every single one of them has a resume full of failures. The difference is they didn't stop there. They looked failure dead in the eye and said, "Okay, what are you here to teach me?" Because there's always a lesson hiding inside your mistakes. Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's sharpening your skills. Maybe it's building resilience you didn't know you had. Or maybe it's redirecting you towards something even better than what you thought you wanted. You see, sometimes what we call failure is just life rerouting us. You think your path is supposed to go straight, but life says no, turn here, and you don't see it yet, but that detour might be saving you from something you don't even know is around the corner. Or leading you to a place bigger than you ever dreamed. I want you to remember something. Scars are not signs of weakness. Scars are signs of survival. When you fail and get back up, you're stronger than before. You've gained knowledge, perspective, and the grit that only comes from falling and rising again. That's the currency of growth. Don't you ever let failure make you feel small. Don't you ever let it convince you that you're stuck. You are not stuck. You are learning, evolving, preparing for the next level. And I'll tell you what, I trust a woman who has failed and gotten back up more than I trust somebody who's never been tested. Because the woman who's fallen and risen knows her strength. She's unshakable. She's got a fire in her eyes that says, "Try me." Failure is not the end of your story. It's just a chapter, one chapter, and when you keep writing, you realize that what felt like the worst day of your life might be the reason you found your purpose, or the reason you discovered who your real friends are, or the reason you finally believed in yourself enough to go after what you truly want. So don't run from failure. Don't be ashamed of it. Stand in it, own it, study it like a map showing you where not to step next time. and then keep moving forward because that's how champions are built. Let me tell you something most people don't realize until life forces them to learn it the hard way. Silence is power. Not weakness, not fear, not surrender, but power. And there are moments in life when your silence will serve you better than any words you could ever speak. We live in a world that worships noise. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants to be heard, to be seen, to throw in their 2 cents, whether it's worth a dime or not. People argue in comment sections, shout over each other on television screens, blast opinions across social media like fireworks in the sky. And in all that noise, sometimes the most commanding voice in the room is the one that chooses not to speak. Silence is not the absence of strength. It's the presence of wisdom. It's the discipline to pause, to breathe, to weigh the cost of words before you release them into the world. Because once words leave your mouth, you can't pull them back. You can't unsay what's been said. You can apologize, yes, but words leave scars. They hang in the air. They echo in people's heads long after the moment has passed. There's power in knowing that not every insult deserves a rebuttal. Not every provocation deserves your energy. Sometimes silence is you protecting your peace, protecting your dignity, protecting your future from being stained by words spoken in a moment of anger, pride, or pain. I know it's hard. Especially when somebody disrespects you. Especially when someone tries to twist your truth, challenge your character, make you look small in front of others. The fire inside you wants to roar. Your tongue wants to strike back with sharp words that'll cut deep. But ask yourself, will speaking serve me right now? Will it solve the problem? Or will it pour gasoline on a fire that needs to die out? There's a difference between silence that comes from fear and silence that comes from strength. Silence born of fear keeps you small. But silence born of strength is a weapon. It's you choosing to keep your power instead of giving it away. It's you refusing to let someone else dictate your mood, your day, your sense of self-worth. I've learned that silence can be the loudest answer you'll ever give. You want to know how powerful silence is? Watch how people squirm when you don't react the way they expect you to. When you don't take the bait, when you sit calm and steady while they rant and rave, trying to pull you into chaos. Silence exposes people. It reveals who's really in control and who's desperate for control. Sometimes silence is strategy. It's you gathering facts before you speak. It's you refusing to play checkers when the situation demands chess. It's you waiting for the right moment to drop the truth when it can't be denied, rather than wasting breath when no one's ready to hear it. Silence can protect relationships too, because not every truth needs to be spoken in every moment. There's a time for honesty, yes, but there's also a time for grace, a time for allowing someone else's humanity to exist without you crushing it with words. A strong woman knows when to speak and when to let silence speak for her. Don't mistake silence for submission. A silent woman can be plotting her next move. She can be healing, praying, planning. She can be preserving her energy for a fight that truly matters. Some of the strongest women I know are not the ones shouting from the rooftops. They're the ones who know how to sit quietly and listen. Who read the room, who understand that there's a language beyond words. A language of presence, of body language, of steady eyes that say, I see you, I hear you, and you will not break me. People underestimate a woman who knows how to hold her tongue. They think she's passive, that she doesn't have the nerve to speak up. They don't realize she's choosing her battles. They don't see how much self-control it takes to keep her peace in the face of chaos. But let me tell you this. A woman who knows the value of her silence is a woman who can't be rattled easily. She's dangerous in the best way because nobody can manipulate her reactions. The truth is, silence gives you time to hear the deeper truths beneath the noise. It helps you hear your own thoughts instead of the chatter of everyone else. It's in those quiet moments you find your center, your clarity, your purpose. So when life tries to pull you into battles that don't deserve you, remember this: silence can be your shield, your fortress, your greatest form of self-respect, because sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is absolutely nothing. Let me tell you something that too many women forget or push aside or feel guilty for even thinking about. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's survival, and until you truly believe that deep down in your bones, you're going to keep running yourself into the ground, giving away pieces of yourself until there's nothing left. I see you. I see how you show up for everybody else. How you keep the household running. How you stay late at work to help a colleague. How you answer your phone at midnight because someone needs to vent. I see how you pour love into your family, into your friends, into your community, and don't get me wrong, those things matter. Love matters, service matters, but let me ask you something. When was the last time you poured that same kind of love back into yourself? Because here's the truth. If you're running on empty, you can't help anybody. You can't be the partner you want to be. You can't be the mother, the daughter, the sister, the friend you want to be. You can't build your dreams if your spirit is exhausted. And there's nothing noble about sacrificing your mental health, your physical health, your peace of mind just to prove you're strong enough to carry the weight of the world. We live in a society that praises women for being martyrs, for being selfless, for being everything to everyone all the time. People clap for women who never rest, who keep hustling even when they're sick, who wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. But you know what that badge is worth if it lands you in the hospital? Nothing. You are not here just to work, serve, and survive. You are here to live, to breathe, to feel joy, to feel whole. Some people will try to make you feel guilty for putting yourself first. They'll call you selfish, cold, uncaring, but remember this, those same people will not be there when you burn out. They won't be the ones picking up the pieces when your mind fractures from stress, or your body gives out from years of neglect. The people who love you the most, the real ones, they want you healthy, they want you rested, they want you sane and safe. Self-care isn't always bubble baths and spa days, though there's nothing wrong with those things. Sometimes self-care is saying no, even when it disappoints people. Sometimes it's turning off your phone and letting the world spin without you for a few hours. Sometimes it's choosing sleep over another late night hustle. Sometimes it's finally making that doctor's appointment you've been putting off. Sometimes it's sitting quietly and letting yourself feel what you feel instead of stuffing it down to keep up appearances. Self-care is boundaries. It's knowing that your time, your energy, and your emotional space are valuable. It's refusing to let people drain you just because they've grown used to you always being available. It's protecting your peace like your life depends on it, because it does. And let me tell you something else. You don't owe anybody an explanation for taking care of yourself. You don't owe anyone a long speech about why you're resting, why you're healing, why you're stepping back. No is a complete sentence, and it's one of the most powerful tools a woman can have in her arsenal. You deserve to feel good in your body. You deserve to feel light in your spirit. You deserve to laugh without feeling guilty. You deserve to breathe without feeling like you're running out of air. You deserve joy, not just survival. But it's a choice you have to make every day, a choice to see your own needs as valid, a choice to believe that you're worth the time and the effort it takes to care for yourself, a choice to believe that you deserve the same compassion you give so freely to everyone else. I know some of you are thinking, I don't have time. Let me tell you, you don't have time not to take care of yourself. Because neglect always collects interest. The stress you ignore now becomes illness later. The exhaustion you push through today becomes collapse tomorrow. Self-care doesn't steal your time. It gives you back your life, so stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for somebody else to tell you it's okay to rest. Stop waiting for a crisis to force you to slow down. Choose yourself now before life makes the choice for you. You are worthy of care, you are worthy of love, and you are worthy of giving yourself the same grace, tenderness, and protection that you give so generously to everyone else. Self-care is not selfish, it's how you survive, and it's how you thrive. You are not measured by what other people say about you. You're measured by the truth you carry inside. You are not defined by the times you've fallen, but by how many times you've risen. Your silence can speak louder than any words when the moment calls for wisdom over noise. Your self-care is not an indulgence, it's the foundation that holds up everything you are and everything you're building. And above all, you are powerful beyond measure, even when you don't feel it, even when life tries to convince you otherwise. Don't you ever forget who you are. Don't you ever let the world make you shrink. Walk with your head high. Speak with purpose. Love yourself fiercely. Live your life knowing that you, woman, are strong and nothing, and no one can take that away from you. Thank you.